Hello guys, it's me Matt, and today I will teach you how to play like a world champion in Untitled boxing game. So first of all, we are gonna cover the basics. Now what are the basics? I believe that using your ultimate is one of the most important parts of winning a match. So if you go back in time to when I first started uploading UBG content where I fought people, right? You could probably see that I didn't use my ultimate a lot. I held it until like the second or third round, and sure, that was decent, but the thing is, it led to a lot of fights where I could have won. I lost just because I didn't use my ultimate way earlier. Of course, a lot of these fights you couldn't really use your ultimate until the second round, but that differentiates the winner of the match. Right? It depends on whether you use your ultimate early or if you use it wrongly. So we are gonna talk about the ultimate, how to use it. There are some instances where you want to use it as soon as possible. If you get to the ultimate meter and the enemy is just around 30 to 40% at round 1 and you still are also at round 1, then you use it. Because you will regenerate it over the duration of the next round. And even if you get knocked down first, right? It's either you're able to knock him down and then you can use the ultimate at the second round. Or if you're not able to knock him down, then you use the ultimate to come back. Even though it looks pretty bad, it's still doable. It would still be winnable, but it's just gonna be pretty hard if there's a massive skill gap. But the thing is, if you use your ultimate as soon as possible and you are at an even health with him, and you're able to land it, you're gonna get a pretty good advantage unless the enemy also uses his ultimate, at which point you will probably have built up a bit more of your ultimate bar. So that means that in the next round, as long as nothing is broken in his style, you will also be able to use your ultimate earlier in the round, in the second round. Also, to make sure that it's a guaranteed hit, because most people will probably block like until you're able to ult them in the first round. So you take advantage of that and you destroy their block with the ultimate because it can block break, right? Most people also don't expect to get ulted in the first round. But you are able to ult 3 times in a single match. Because you're able to build up your ultimate in each round. So that's a good thing to take note of. The only problem is that if you use your ultimate and you don't have a significant advantage over the enemy's health on the second round, if you use your ultimate, right, and it carries over into the third round, the enemy will be able to ultimate earlier than you. So there's still a massive skill gap there, but if you play your cards right, you shouldn't even have a health onto the third round. You should just be at second round, and if the enemy ults you, then it's all good because you have an ultimate advantage if you carry it over into the third round. Now it's mostly a skill matchup as well. But if you are able to utilize all three ultimates that the game gives you in each match, you should have a pretty good unfair advantage right there. Of course, it's also up to you to weigh in the risks of using the ultimate earlier or later in the game. But a lot of the time, the positives of using the ultimate earlier on outweigh the negatives of like holding it until later. Because it depends really on your style, right? Different stroke for different folks, right? Now the second part, dodging. There's two kinds of dodging in this game. It's either preemptively or reactionary. Dodging preemptively, you can probably see most of my matches where I try to predict the enemy's dodge, and most of the time, or some of the time, it works and I get a pretty clean hit off. And sometimes it doesn't work. And most of the time they aren't able to punish me. The problem comes when you face an enemy that can punish you because of those preemptive dodging, which happens only in the upper red ranks, right? So you probably don't have to worry about your bad habit of preemptive dodging until like in the red ranks. Now, why is dodging preemptively better than dodging reactionary? Dodging preemptively is better when your PC when you have either mediocre ping or a small monitor. A small monitor doesn't really let you see a lot of the highlights that a player gives off when they are about to hit. So to overcome those hurdles, you can dodge preemptively based on the past actions of your opponent or previous styles of previous users of the style, right? Which is why a lot of the dodging I do goes to the right because most styles hit to the right and only some are on the left side. Only some start from the left side. Now, reactionary. What do you need to do to have reactionary dodging? First off, is preferably you have a big monitor, you have decent ping, and that's it. Maybe you start off like dodging only one or two M1s a match by reaction time, but I'm pretty sure you can improve that over time. And dodging preemptively, you can also take note of the opponent's habits. So it it makes you have less to think of in the match because there's already a lot that you have to think of in the middle of the match, like spacing and stuff like that. So if you do decide to dodge preemptively, you can expect to like use less brain power to think of the opponent's next move since you can adjust it according to the opponent's habits. Like if they wait a second or two before using an M1, you can also wait a second or two as the match goes on. Of course, if you dodge preemptively, the opponent that's capable in the red ranks will probably like just wait you out, right? And probably just keep hitting you without like doing anything, right? They'll probably wait for you to dodge and then hit. And if someone does that, then your dodging is pretty screwed as a dodge player that just preemptively dodge. You're pretty much screwed there if you can't figure out their pattern. So I believe dodging preemptively is more open to more people than dodging reactionary. Just because dodging reactionary requires either a good monitor or very good reaction time, which not a lot of people have. So dodging preemptively would be more normal for you actually. Now for the third part is when to use your M2s and when to stop trying to use your M2s. Yeah, this is a pretty basic one, but a lot of people they try to M2 on a combo, right? Now, maybe on the first round you test around a bit, test the waters a bit with your M2. If if you can hit them M1 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 and then you M2, you're able to hit them, then they probably have pretty bad reaction time because it takes like 2 seconds for an M2 to hit normally, right? Now, if they're able to dodge your M2, if they're able to dodge it at least like 2 to 3 times in the first round, then that's a pretty good test that you probably will never hit an M2 in your entire life in that round. But the thing is, when they try to dodge, right, or when they panic dodge, and you don't hit them, and they dodge nothing actually, you can charge an M2 right as they dodge, and then you hit them, as long as they don't dash backwards, which a lot of the styles are pretty broken in dashing backwards, or they have like zero lag at all in dodging backwards. And with styles like that, I think it's pretty hard to hit them with M1s anyway. So with M1s and M2s, but if you are able to like consistently hit them with M2 after they dodge, and that makes them a bad player, but you're able to hit them, and that's a good thing. However, if they just don't get hit at all, no matter what, then you probably should stop using your M2 and stick to M1s instead. If you just stick to M1s, your chance of winning is probably pretty low. But as long as you use the ultimates properly and you dodge properly, you do have a pretty good chance of winning still. It just depends also on your spacing. Now for spacing, you can it just comes with experience, right? But each style has a different range. So as much as possible, you just main one style. And if the style is too bad, then you just drop it. I do have a tier list, so you can see that in the video description. I'm gonna put it in the description. But if the style that you're using is too bad, you can drop it. But I wouldn't really recommend dropping any styles other than basic or shotgun, since some of the styles are still pretty playable, right? You just have to put in a lot more effort compared to other styles. And that's gonna have to be it for now. And I'll see you guys in the next one. If you do apply these strategies, then you should be able to see a decent improvement in your future matches. Well then, I'll see you on the next one, guys, and have a nice night. Bye bye.